All sorts of properties are sold under the hammer. So if you're thinking of investing, why not pop down to your local property auction?
Yes, but don't get carried away. Do your homework before you bid.
And here's what we found for you on today's show.
There's a dazzling surprise in this Stoke end of terrace.
Whoa, bright white kitchen. Sunglasses on.
In London, it's time to let the light into this two-bed flat.
I do like the space it offers. The windows in there are fantastic.
And is there a little treasure to be unearthed in Manchester? You can find those little gems that you can turn around very quickly. This is definitely one of them.
All these properties have been sold at auction, and we'll find out who bought them and what they paid for them when they went under the hammer.
Well done, sir.
Today I'm in Stoke-on-Trent, Hanley to be precise. As any local will tell you, Hanley is the place to go shopping or have a good night out in Stoke. In fact, they've coined a saying to mean just that. Up Hanley, duck.
So what's on offer in Hanley today? Well, an end terrace, a corner property, so that's good news. As is the price, £35,000 plus. Got to be worth exploring further.
From the outside, this seems like a fairly typical Victorian red brick terraced house. There are obvious signs of wear and tear, like this window frame. Ugly, but not a real problem.
Whoa, well, it seems pretty expansive just the moment you walk through the front door. Stairs up to the bedrooms there, a sort of sitting room area on that side, and then through here. It almost has a feeling of what I guess it might have been in the past, a corner shop, because it's bigger than you anticipate. I mean, this room here, look at it. Some lovely old stained glass in the windows there. I wonder if you could keep that. Probably not, because the windows need replacing. But this is a good-sized sitting room in here. And then what have we got here? Oh, looks like it's a bit of a single-storey extension housing a bright white kitchen. Look at that! Sunglasses on, but not a bad space. Although it looks to me, it's going to need a bit of work. It's obviously got lots of damp, and somebody's tried the most amazing job of updating the work surfaces by painting them. Lovely. Yeah. So, rip it out and start again. But in terms of a start and the amount of space you've got, brilliant.
I am liking this place already. It's really spacious and has some quirky features. I'm off upstairs for a sit down.
You know when you do painting and you go to a lot of trouble with all that masking tape and careful about the edges and covering things with dust sheets and stuff? Clearly whoever did the painting in this bathroom didn't adopt the same approach. Looks like a seagull's got in here and done its worst. More seriously though, whenever I see fresh paint like this, I wonder, what's it covering up?
Oh dear, looks like the bathroom will end up in the skip along with the kitchen.
Well, the good thing about corner terrace properties is that obviously you've got an extra wall which you can have windows in. So as a result, they're often light and airy, and that's exactly the case here. I mean, look at this, a really good-sized bedroom. It's only got 2 bedrooms, but really nice size. I mean, you're going to have to sort of see through some of the clutter that's still here. But do that, and what you see is a really decent little property.
So, great potential inside, but let's see what the outside has to offer.
Well, not only have you got this rather interesting extension to the side of the property, but also quite an extensive bit of, well, I was going to say garden, but it's just utility space and also a garage. So suddenly, this property is actually quite expansive. And just as a completely random thought, I wonder if you could possibly possibly think about building a house here? So this could be a building plot. That could bring in quite a lot of cash.
Of course, that would be a decision for the local planners. It's worth thinking about, but park those thoughts while we ask a local property expert what he thinks of this house that came guided at £35,000 plus, and the area it's in.
The area is very convenient for the town centre, literally a couple of minutes walk away. Quite a lot of the area will be buy-to-let, investor-type properties, not too much owner-occupied round here, but they are very good to let out.
So that's good news for any prospective buyer. But what are his impressions of the house?
First impressions of the property, quite a lot of work required. Whoever purchases it, they're going to have a full hit, really. Kitchens, bathrooms, rewire, double glazing is required, heating's required, an extensive course of work required, really.
Once renovated, our expert reckoned the house could achieve around £80,000 if it was put up for sale, and as much as £450 per calendar month if rented. Keeping in mind that guide price of £35,000, and someone could make a tidy little profit on this project.
Well, yes, there's work to be done, but I think this property has a lot to offer, especially around that guide price. Let's see who agreed when it went under the hammer.
It's a corner terraced house, 2 reception rooms, 2 bedrooms, bathroom upstairs, garage. What's this, 30 to start me here? 30 bid, thank you, at £30,000. 31 took it there at 31,000, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Shaking his head, 40 right in the middle at £40,000. 41 anywhere else? If not, I'm selling it. Another bidder. You're not all together, are you? No. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 46, 47, sir? No. Bids at 46 in the middle, no mistakes. At £46,000, then all done. New bidder, 47, 48, 48, 49, 49, 50, 50 and a half, 51, 51, half, 2, half. No, at 52 and a half, standing back left, 52,500 all done now. 53 anywhere else, if not 52.5 once, 52.5 back in, 53. Shaking his head, so it's with you still, 53. Another 500, if not 53 once, 53 twice. Third and final time at £53,000. You bought it, sir, well done.
No wonder he's punching the air after that exhausting contest. He's HUtH, a restaurateur who also dabbles in property. I met up with him, his adoptive mother Pat and daughter Hope to find out what his plans are.
Pat, HUtH, lovely to meet you both.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Interesting property.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
And with all your experience?
Yes.
Oh, great.
I like it. No, I think it's really good. It's got loads of potential. Tell me why you wanted to buy it.
It's in town centre. It's got a garage with it, so parking, and it came to a reasonable price. Mm-hmm. And prices are going up in this part of the area.
Right. Tell me about you two then.
We were in Buckinghamshire, and we had a restaurant in Beaconsfield, and from Beaconsfield back to Stoke-on-Trent.
I moved away from Beaconsfield to here last year.
Did you?
Yeah.
And what attracted you back to Stoke?
Yeah, and his family.
Right, OK. And how have you found the transition back to Stoke?
Actually, very well. I was worried, but it's gone very well indeed.
And are you going to be involved in this project?
Yes, financially,
Okay.
and I hope physically.
Right. And what do you do when you're not doing property?
I run a restaurant. That's
Right.
my first profession.
Right. Are you a chef or you run it?
No, I just run it and tell other people what to do.
So what's the plan? Why have you bought it? Have you bought it to sell it?
No,
No.
to rent it.
Right.
To completely gut the inside and start again. And then rental property around here is in demand because the university, for one thing, and also I think he needs something to do during the day.
Not enough in the restaurant.
Right. So mum's stepping in and cracking the whip.
Yes.
Well, it looks like HUtH has his work cut out for him on this project. I don't know where he's going to find the energy to develop this place and run his restaurant, but Mother knows best.
Always be kind to your mother.
So talk me through exactly what you're going to do to sort it out.
Well, we're going to strip it to the bare bones because it's pointless doing patch here, patch there. Make it modern and yeah, something durable, lasts, simple, easy to maintain.
Right. One radical thought I did have was knocking the garage down and maybe there is
Extend.
enough space. Well, not extension. No. Maybe there's enough space for a little building plot there. See, Mum, you've twigged onto that, haven't you?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So what's the budget for the work?
I think 20,000, but I don't know about.
I'd like to do it within 15. Yeah.
20 is quite generous. 15's doable, I would say.
One of the nice thing about running a restaurant, you get to meet a lot of nice people.
Ah.
And when you look after them, when it's your time, they look after you.
Okay, so you're going to call in some friends.
Yeah, you no idea what you get for a carrot.
Mates rates.
We call it curry rates.
And what about the timescale?
I'm looking at about 3 months.
Okay.
At the maximum.
I double it.
You double it. So you're very practical, aren't you? It's straight in there, yeah.
Well, if you've worked for architects for 35 years,
Wow.
and you've had builders ringing up every day saying, oh, next week.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Good luck to you both.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet you.
Thank you very much.
I look forward to seeing how it turns out. Well, Pat and HUtH seem to make a great team, and I think they've got a lovely property here. Lots of work to be done, lots of curry rates to be called in. How will they get on? You can find out later in the show.
This is Thornton Heath in the London Borough of Croydon. It's a couple of miles from Croydon town centre and just 24 minutes by train to central London. Once an area known for its clockmaking and bell foundry, its tranquil surroundings suddenly got my property senses tingling. A 15-minute brisk walk from the train station and you're on this attractive street lined with nice period houses. Now, the property I'm here to see is this. It's a 3-bedroom garden flat which had a guide price of £100,000. I'm going to take a look inside. Well, someone's done a clear out already by the looks of things. Let's hope that means less work to do inside. Oh, well, straight away, I can see this is a serious renovation job. Look, you've got peeling wallpaper everywhere. Bit of money needs spending here. Although I do like the space it offers. Lovely big rooms, the windows in there are fantastic. Nice bit of cornicing as well. Second room here, and I would say this is another bedroom. It's fantastic knowing that these flats were built like this. They're purpose-built with the period features still in mind. You know, so much nicer than a pinched conversion. Offers a lot of space. Again, you've got a lovely big window over there. So far, so good. I really like it. So at the back of the property, you've got a little kids' room in there, and this is the sitting room. It's nice and quiet, actually, and not a bad space. But if you don't want 3 bedrooms, I suppose you could always take this wall out and create a very nice big space for a family, perhaps. Although I do think by not having the 3rd bedroom, that might damage the value of the property. And of course, for renters, they do prefer more rooms. So we've got the kitchen right at the back here. Yes, it's in a state you'd need to completely think about redoing this, changing all the units. But disappointingly, there's the bathroom, look, just tacked on at the side here. Doesn't really work for me. I think I would create an independent access round here, put a doorway in through here, knock a big hole here, and block this up so that you could enter the bathroom from this room. And over here, we've got a strange sort of lean-to.
This is all rather strange. This is nothing other, really, than just a storage space, a bike store, but it's almost plonked right in the middle of the garden. I'm just thinking, if you took it away, you would have so much more space. It doesn't really work as it is at the moment. And at the other end is this door leading out to just a redundant yard. It's not being used for anything. It doesn't serve a purpose at all. Apply for planning permission and just put something a little more useful than that in its place.
This lean-to desperately needs replacing with a preferably bigger and better and more practical extension. You could then extend the kitchen into it, and if it was extended down the side as well, well, you could open up the dining room area too. But of course, in order to do all that, you need to chat to the freeholder to get permission. And while you're at it, you might as well discuss an extension of the lease, which currently has only 71 years left to run, which will significantly affect its resale value. But what does the local estate agent make of this 3-bedroom garden flat that came guided at £100,000?
This is a good size 3-bedroom maisonette, ground floor, which is good, direct access to garden. Needs a lot of work, it needs a complete uplifting, and there's the scope to extend the kitchen sideways and make it just that much more spacious.
Undoubtedly, there's a lot of practical changes that can be carried out, but what about that relatively short lease? Is that worth extending?
Normally, extending the lease is a good idea, and on a 3-bedroom property like this, it could be anything from 15 to 20,000. But that would definitely add saleability in the future, and it would add that extra value to the property as well.
Mortgage companies can get nervous when a lease has less than 70 years to run, so undoubtedly, it would be worth that extra spend to make your investment viable for the resale market. But with what was £100,000 plus guide price and a potential 20 grand spend on getting that lease extended on top of a full refurbishment, would you see any return at all on your investment?
In today's marketplace, the property with an extended lease, and once fully renovated, the property could be marketed at around £195,000 to £200,000.
Potentially, this could yield quite a decent return on the resale market. But how would it fare as a rental property?
On the rental market, we would market this property at around £1,000 per calendar month.
Well, it sounds like this property could be a potentially lucrative venture, and lots of options with extending the kitchen and extending the lease too. But whatever you decide, one thing's for sure, it does need a total renovation. So let's find out who bought it when it went under the hammer.
Lot 96, 4-room garden flat, in need of updating. Who'd like to give me a start on this? You bidding? 100 I've got, thank you, £100,000. 101, thank you, 101, 102, 103, 103, 104, 104, 105, yeah, 105, 106, 107, 107 new place, got you 107, 108, 109,
This turned out to be a popular lot, and we rejoined the bidding at £140,000.
140, thank you. 141, 142, 142, 143, 143, and 144. Yeah, 144? Yeah, 144, 145, 146, 146, 147, 148, 149, 150 at the back, 150, okay? 151, 150 for the first, 150 for the second, 150 for the third and final time. You're done. Sold, 150. Back to the room, well done.
For £50,000 above the guide price, the winning bidder was Aubrey, who was bidding on behalf of his friend Teresa. I met them both back at the flat to find out their plans for it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, whose is the flat?
The flat's mine.
But you were the one bidding on auction day.
That's right.
Did you see it before the auction?
I didn't, Aubrey did.
So you trusted in your friend here?
I did, because he's done this type of work before, and I knew if he said it was going to be a good project, I knew it would be.
When you saw this for the first time, was you really happy?
I was. I walked in and I know there's work to be done here, but I could see through that. You know, it's the high ceilings and the size of the rooms and the fact that it is a 3-bedroom and what can be done with the flat. Love it.
And it's not just the flat she loves, it's the location too. Having just had her job relocated from Crawley, where she previously lived, to Croydon, this move will cut her journey time from over an hour to just 10 minutes. That's fantastic.
So now, Aubrey, what are you going to do to really turn this place around?
Basically just revamp it, plaster the walls as needed to be plastered, and basically make the kitchen a bit more bigger.
OK, let's talk about the kitchen, because it could be a fabulous kitchen, but the lean-to is not fabulous. You need to put a permanent structure there. But it does sort of sit in the middle of the garden, doesn't it?
You see, the way how the lean-to is set up, the kitchen can actually put itself right in there quite easily. And the little patio in the front, you can use that like a little dining area where you don't want to go into the grass. And obviously the garden's very small, but you can't expect a very big thing. You've got a big flat, small garden, nice and cute for a small person.
For a small person, nice and cute. Perfect. So you have got lots of space here. I mean, you've got 3 bedrooms. I mean, it really is a little bonus that you've got the 3rd bedroom, but I mean, imagine if you took away that wall, because it's just a partition wall, you could have what I think it originally was, a very big, wonderful, sort of open-plan reception room.
Well, I'm going to ask Aubrey to make that little bedroom a little bit bigger, pull it out a bit more into the dining room area, because he's going to knock that wall into the kitchen, and that will open up all that space. So I'll have more space with the kitchen and diner, and I won't miss that little bit that's going to make that little bedroom bigger.
Wow, so you're almost going to have 3 double bedrooms.
Yes.
I mean, it really is a cracking flat. You did well, Aubrey. You did well, the boy.
He certainly did.
So what sort of money are you looking at spending here?
I'll say approximately about between 10,000 and 15,000.
And are you happy with that?
Yes, I am, yeah.
Do you think that's a doable feast? Because obviously you've got to change all your windows, you've got a bathroom, a kitchen.
Yeah, but knowing the right people, you can actually do it a lot cheaper if you really do it right.
So how do you know the right people?
In my industry, I do plumbing and heating. So I meet different trades. So it's time for me to call my favours in.
Aubrey's hoping by calling in favours he'll be able to turn the flat around in just a month. But of course it isn't just the fabric of the flat that needs sorting out to maximise its value.
What about the 71-year lease?
I'm going to reapply for a new lease.
But how much money is that going to cost you?
I don't know. I think it's between 6,000 and 10,000.
OK, so you've got to add that onto the costs of the property, and then, of course, the work that you've got to do.
Yeah.
Hence why we're only spending between 10 and 15.
So what are you most looking forward to?
Just cracking on. Getting the hammer out.
Going for it.
Going for it.
Now, what time do you finish work?
3 o'clock.
So where are you going to be? At 3:30 every day?
3:20 I'll be here every day.
Is she going to be driving you mad? How's that going to work?
No, I'll be here a lot earlier than that.
You'll be leaving by 3:20.
We're going to do shift work.
Oh, guys, I can't wait to see the flat when it's finished. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I hope it all turns out well.
Okay.
Well done. Well, I think everyone needs to be mates with a tradesman with loads of friends. Teresa has struck lucky with Aubrey. I'm really intrigued, though, to see what happens and if they manage it for 10 to 15,000. You can find out how they get on later in the programme.
Coming up, whoever owns this little flat in Warrington, there's no chance they'll miss the boat. And that over there is the Manchester Ship Canal, because it's still used today.
And for Teresa, has her ship finally come sailing in?
I love it. It's nice to come home from work and have my own front door and have friends around when I want to.
It's back now to Hanley in Stoke-on-Trent and this Victorian red brick corner house that was bought at auction for £53,000 by Joubert and his adoptive mother Pat. Joubert was born in Stoke but lived for 10 years in Beaconsfield in Buckinghamshire, where he bought several properties and opened a restaurant. And now he's returned to Stoke. He's got a perfect recipe for combining the two interests.
One of the nice thing about running a restaurant, you get to meet a lot of nice people. And when you look after them, When it's your time, they look after you.
OK, so you're going to call in some friends.
Yeah, you no idea what you get for a carrot.
Mates rates.
We call it curry rates.
You could say he's currying favour with his clients. And while the interior of the house was an acquired taste, Joubert and Pat were going to spice up this end terrace and renovate the property in 3 to 6 months, and on a budget of £15,000 to £20,000. And when we returned just over 9 months later, a new front door and new windows had been installed. But had the interior hit the spot? Well, they certainly did. From top to bottom, wall to wall, the house had been replastered, rewired and replumbed. With new doors, flooring and windows, and with the neutral tones of the floor and door giving the reception rooms oomph and character. And while the old kitchen may have been blinding at first, the new units and worktops are definitely a sight for sore eyes. Joubert and Pat have come again with his daughter and her granddaughter, Hope, and they've certainly given this house some for the future, especially in the kitchen.
This is a very simple, basic kitchen. Straightforward, neat, clean, practical. And basically, it didn't take that long. The reason being because there isn't any corners. It's straight line, and that was quite easy.
Glad to hear it, Joubert. The decor of the 2 bedrooms follow the same format as downstairs. Again, the wood effect makes these rooms warm and inviting. And do you remember the bathroom that made a splash for all the wrong reasons? Well, that's been remedied with a new suite and tiling. But getting it to this much improved state meant having a big clear out.
It had been empty for 7 years, and the accumulation of rubbish just left behind, plus the devastation we caused, taking all the windows out, the doors, the plaster off the wall, the ceilings down. So skips were outside almost permanently.
Clearing out the garden also helped fill those skips. And as for the suggestion of turning the garage into a building plot, Joubert did approach the planning office, but they felt any application would be unsuccessful, and any development here wouldn't be in keeping with the area, so Joubert has dropped the idea. But as for the main renovation, well, that went smoothly, and thanks to some helping hands.
A couple of my friends did help me out with some plastering, painting. A friend of mine did the electrical work for virtually half the cost, what it should have been. In return, I treated his family in the restaurant. So it does work. It's one of the advantages of having a restaurant. You get to know a lot of nice people.
Despite returning just over 9 months later, all the work here was done in a total of just 9 weeks. This delay, though, in getting the house fixed up was down to Joubert having to deal with the passing away of his father.
Unfortunately, I spent 6 months beside my father. He had cancer and he passed away. So I had to take my father to Bangladesh for the burial. Being an Asian, it's a cultural thing that you believe your father held your hand in your first step. And when he's old, you carry his last step, and it's a circle of life.
I really am so proud because he had a lot of worry and sadness, and all this had to go on hold, and then you come back and a little bit of the enthusiasm has gone from the auction. But now you get into it and it's amazing, and I think he's done an incredible job.
With the help of friends, Joubert and Pat were able to get the work done for £12,000, well within their original budget of £15,000 to £20,000. Add that to the purchase price of £53,000 and their total outlay here is £65,000. So what's the next step for the house?
We haven't decided fully which one we're going to do. If we get the right money, what we're looking for, we would sell. If the value is slightly less, then we would wait and see what the outcome is.
Well, maybe 2 local estate agents can help Joubert and Pat decide which might be the best way of making their £65,000 investment work.
I'm very impressed with the property. It's of an excellent size, being on the corner, and the developer's done an excellent job in updating it. The main selling points of the property are the size, the presentation, whoever occupies it can move straight in, and also the location with the proximity to the city centre. Having looked around the property, it's been done to a reasonable standard. Obviously, new kitchen, new bathroom, it's neutral and fresh and pretty much ready to move straight into.
So, bearing in mind their spend of £65,000, what could Joubert and Pat achieve if they sell the house?
I would anticipate a resale value in the region of £75,000. I would anticipate the resale value to be in the region of £75,000.
The valuation is low. We're expecting to be at least 80 plus. So that's a bit of a shock because we'll probably put it in the market for 80, 85 and for an offer of 80. That's what we would do.
If they were to sell it for £80,000, then the pair could get a pre-tax profit of around £15,000. But will the rental returns appeal to them?
I would anticipate a rental income in the region of £400 per calendar month. If we were to let it out, I would be looking in the region of £425 per calendar month.
Yeah, it's not far off. If we were to rent it out, we would be looking at least £450.
If the pair get that rental return of £450 per calendar month, then they could get a healthy annual yield of just over 8%. Despite the possible resale values not meeting up to their expectations, the pair are still aiming to try their luck reselling, and it certainly hasn't put them off buying again at auction in the future.
Although we haven't made much as I thought I would, but we certainly haven't made a loss, so it's not bad for a start. Yeah, we would certainly look at other properties.
And it's time for me to look at another property now, here in the village of Latchford near Warrington. And not only does it have good road and rail links, you can even travel here by boat. The village lies between the River Mersey and the Manchester Ship Canal, and the local locks are still in use. Just a stone's throw away from the Latchford Railway Viaduct is the property I'm here to see. It's a 2-bed flat in a relatively modern development. It's at a guide price of £70,000. Let's have a look. This block was built in 2007, and with plenty of parking, communal gardens, a security entrance, and setback from the road, it all looks pretty good to me. One downside is that there's no lift, but our flat is only on the first floor, so you don't have to be an ex-footballer to tackle those. Straight into the hallway. There is a nice big room here with quite a large window there, bringing lots of light in. Maybe change the carpets, they look a little bit tired. And here you have a bit of cupboard space, which is quite rare in a flat this size. Is always struggling for cupboard space. Bedroom 2, again the carpet's not great in that room. A spacious bathroom, big enough. And then into the main room here, which is the lounge kitchen area. And from what I can see so far, doesn't look like there needs to be a lot done in here. The kitchen looks relatively new. The hob looks nice and clean, and carpets are not great in here either, so carpet throughout and a bit of paint as well on the walls, just to freshen it up. But it just goes to show, if you do a bit of research, have a look around, you can find those little gems that you can turn around very quickly. This is definitely one of them. Yes, all this is really suffering from is a bit of wear and tear. And with a little bit of love and attention, it'll be as good as new. Once you've made it shiny and bright, you can step back and admire the view. It's not very often you can look out of your flat and get a bit of the Northwest's industrial heritage. And that over there is the Manchester Ship Canal. And every now and again, you might be lucky enough to spot a ship going up or down that, because it's still used today.
Ship ahoy, ship ahoy, ship ahoy, ship ahoy, ship ahoy.
The 36 miles of Manchester Ship Canal links Manchester to the Irish Sea and is regularly used by over 8,000 container ships each year. Well, the view may come free, but one thing that doesn't with this flat is that communal service charge. Having lived in an apartment just like this one during my playing days, I did have to pay my communal charges. It wasn't that much, but it was well worth it. So if you do take on something like this, factor it into your budget. And the service charge currently for this flat is £600 per year, with an additional ground rent fee of £250 per annum. In all, they're not huge sums, but it does add up to another £70 per month in costs. What does a local estate agent think about this flat, which comes guided at £70,000 plus?
It's an attractive looking block, pleasant location close to the Ship Canal. Communal areas are a little bit tired, a little bit dated, but overall a very strong first impression.
Well, that's all fine and dandy, but minimal changes can mean there's only a small uplift in value that can be achieved. So is that the case for this flat that was guided at £70,000?
With some improvement, I'd expect a price in the region of £90,000 to £95,000.
OK, so perhaps there is a decent profit to be had here. And what about its rental potential?
I'd expect a rental price in the region of £550 to £575 per calendar month.
There's not a lot that needs doing to this flat. Maybe some new carpet, liquor paint, but I think it's ready to go. Let's see who was lucky enough to spot it when it went under the hammer. And with the lot coming up near the end of the sale, the auction room was fairly quiet. A chance then for someone to pick up a bargain.
Moving on, lot 32. This is the apartment, comprises entrance, hall, lounge, diner, kitchen, 2 bedrooms, bathroom, gas central heating, double glazing, ware fitted. 70's your guide, start me 60, let's get it going. 50 then, need a bed. 50 I've got, add £50,000 in twos maybe. 52 anyone, 52 here. 54, 56, 58, 60 I've got, 62, can you sir? 62 on bed, 64, 66, 66 on bed, 68, 68 on bed, 70, 70 on bed, 72, no, 71 I'll take it, 72 sir, 73, 74, 74 you're back in, 75, 74 and a half I'll take it, 75, half, no, here it's 75. It's £75,000 we're done. On the aisle then, at £75,000 for the first time, and the second time, are you sure? Selling it then at £75,000. You sir, well done.
And so for £75,000, the successful bidder for the 2-bed first-floor flat in Latchford was Bob. Bob has a house 10 minutes from the flat, but spends a lot of the year in Italy. So I was intrigued to know what he had planned for it. Bob, nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us about what the auction was like for you.
Well, a little bit nervous when I first went. It's a new experience, didn't know what to expect. And I asked the chap there before what they would do, because I was concerned of making a strange movement and making a bid that I didn't want to make a bid.
Take your money off you.
You know, scratch my nose or whatever, and I've just bid £5 extra. But I knew I wasn't going to go more than 75, and it just happened.
You done well, didn't you? You fell on your feet there.
But it's just what I wanted. I wanted something that could basically in and out, really.
Exactly, and this.
And
judging by what I've seen,
Yeah.
it is one of them, isn't it? It's just a
yeah.
It's a quick hoover around and a bit of liquor paint.
It is
maybe.
really, liquor paint, you know, new carpets, and that's the end of it. And then we'll get a tenant in.
And that's what your plan is to rent it out straight away?
Yeah, because basically I work for myself, I've done for a number of years, and I've never been in a position where I've had spare cash.
Okay.
I've either been getting divorced, paying those off, or I did go bankrupt in the early 90s and had to recover from that. And my business has always needed the money.
Okay.
And this is the first time ever I've had some spare cash.
Bob used to work as a supplier in a builder's merchants, but has never actually got his hands dirty. He did get involved in a new build project with a business partner and kept 3 of those properties. He also now has others.
Myself and a friend of mine, we built 5 apartments in Littleborough, which is north of Rochdale. A nice little area, similar size to these, and we built those new. So what I've basically done is I've remortgaged those on a buy-to-let and then bought this for cash. And then I've bought another house in Lymm, just up the road here. and rented out the house I was in before, the flat. So this will be the 5th, and we're about to get a 6th.
This is just your bit of a pastime, or you've got a bit of cash?
Pension, something to leave to the children.
What's your job?
Well, what I do is I live in Italy. I've been there 20 years.
I can tell by the way you dress. There's a bit Italian there, isn't there?
Yeah, that's right. And I went there with no job, actually. I'd lost my business, and I went there to just to my holiday home, just to. And while I was there, I was out of work, and I started looking around markets and various things, and actually, eventually, started to buy designer clothing from warehouses, etc. And since then, we've built up quite a good little business, supplying all independents in the UK and abroad with top brands of clothing that they can't get.
They seek him here, they seek him there. His clothes are loud, but never square. It will make or break him, so he's got to buy the best, 'cause he's a dedicated follower of fashion.
And having been running his business for the last 20 years, Bob is keen to build up a pension pot and has decided that investing in UK properties would be the best option. And so he hopes to build up a portfolio of around 10 rental properties.
He's a dedicated follower of fashion. They seek him here.
Not a lot to be done in here.
No, that's what I like about it. In and out.
What are you gonna
Carpets
do?
next week, and we want someone in.
What are you going to do? How much are you going to spend on it, Bob?
A couple of grand.
Just
Can't
a couple of
be more than
£1,000?
that. Yeah, that's all.
Should be enough?
Yeah.
And what's that couple of £1,000 going to pay for?
Carpets and liquor paint.
And that's it?
Yeah.
And how long will it take you?
About a week or two, I suppose. I'm no expert, Dion, but I mean, I would take a couple of weeks.
Are you going to get? Are you going to get the experts in to come and do it in and out, sharpish?
Yeah, I've got a pal who's a decorator. He's just done my home, so he's going to come and do it.
It's a quick fix, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a quick.
Keep it simple.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's,
exactly.
you know.
How do you manage if you live in Italy and you've got your properties here?
Yeah.
Who keeps an eye on them for you?
Well, I'll do it through agents.
Yes.
They take a percentage and look after it because
Okay.
I don't have time, and you know, if you need an electrician, plumber, they look after that.
Bob, I wish you all the best then.
Thank you, Dion.
You'll get it sorted, mate.
Nice to meet you anyway.
Good man. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck. What about Bob, hey? How cool is he? Those togs are very, very smart. He's given himself a £2,000 budget. Put some paint on the walls, new carpets, done, ready for rent. Or will it be? You can find out later on in the programme. We've seen how one developer got on, but let's have a look at the other two.
Well, time has passed, weeks and months, in fact.
Yes, I wonder how they got on. Should we check it out? Let's. Well, it's now back to South London and the suburb of Thornton Heath, where earlier we saw this ground floor 3-bedroom garden flat. Tired and shabby and dead on its feet, but that didn't put off the new owner, Teresa, who got it at auction for £150,000. But it wasn't Teresa who did the bidding, it was her friend Aubrey who viewed it, and he advised Teresa to go for it.
When you saw this for the first time, was you really happy?
I was. I walked in and I know there's work to be done here, but I can see through that. You know, it's the high ceilings and the size of the rooms and the fact that it is a 3-bedroom and what can be done with the flat. Love it.
Good, positive thinking from Teresa there, because with a £15,000 budget and a 4-week turnaround, there was a lot that needed doing here, ranging from dealing with the lean-to, changing that dated kitchen and bathroom, and extending a 71-year-old lease. Even with Aubrey, who was a heating engineer, calling on friends, that 4-week schedule was going to be pushing it.
Time goes by so slowly. Time goes by so slowly.
But it was a year and 8 months later when we returned, and with new windows and front door, the flat does look smarter. But will the inside be worth that long wait? The cramped kitchen and shabby lean-to have given way to a sparkling new, open-plan kitchen living area. Contemporary and stylish. It has absolutely given this place a new lease of life. Aubrey was away on holiday, but Teresa took us through the changes here.
Well, we knocked the wall down that was here. There was a wall here. I put a lentil through, extended the kitchen, and it's lovely to have the natural light coming through. And I wanted the white cupboards with the black tiles, make it nice and clean and sharp. Door to the bathroom was here, and we've closed that up and extended it a little bit to put the vanity unit in the bathroom and put the door through in the lounge. I love this room, being in here. This is my favourite room in the house because it's got the natural light in the daytime and it's quiet at night and it's so easy to relax and chill out of an evening.
The rest of the flat looks just as comfortable, ranging from the renovated front bedroom, the middle bedroom, and newly enlarged third bedroom. The stud wall has been moved further into the original sitting room space, but that doesn't feel any smaller because of that extended kitchen area. I think it all looks really nice and homely.
I moved in here 5 months ago, and I love it. It's nice to come home from work and have my own front door and have friends around when I want to. It's nice.
It's certainly a great-looking chill-out area, but if Teresa wants some fresh air, she could go through the patio doors into the new courtyard out back. Although that rear garden is also the ideal place to catch some sun. Teresa got planning permission for the new extension and work started with the entire flat being replastered and rewired and Aubrey getting stuck in.
Aubrey's played a big role in the property. If it wasn't for Aubrey, I wouldn't have got the place. He saw it and saw the potential. He's replaced the bathroom, replaced all the central heating. He did the stonework in the garden and he was on hand doing jobs when the other guys were here working.
And Teresa also got her own hands dirty by helping to sand and varnish the original floorboards and doing some of the decorating. Altogether, it's an amazing change from the tired flat we saw 20 months ago. Oh yes, Teresa, and that time scale?
We estimated that the work would take 4 weeks, but I did think at the time that was a big job because everything had to be done here. In the end, it took 14 months.
Getting the workmen to focus on her renovation and not moving on to other jobs proved to be the main hold-up. But finally, Teresa is settled in her new home. Hopefully, her £15,000 budget didn't suffer the same mishaps as the timescale.
We haven't spent more than 15,000, and that's with the help of Aubrey and friends of his who've done the work and, you know, got everything cost price.
Add it to her purchase price of £150,000, and Teresa's total spend here is £165,000. While Teresa is very happy in her new home, she also realises that should she ever decide to sell, extending the lease, which had only 71 years left, is vital to making the flat attractive to buyers and increasing its value.
I've just made some inquiries about extending the lease. Approximately £10,000 to £12,000 is what people are paying at the moment to extend their leases. So there won't be a problem if I go to sell the place, the lease will be extended.
But having spent £165,000 on her new home, we asked along 2 local estate agents to find out what the local property market will think of Teresa's new investment. Starting off with the agent who saw the flat 20 months ago, before the changes.
Well, it truly is an amazing transformation. The last time I was here, it was a complete wreck, and the vendor's done really well on this one.
The layout of the property works very, very well. You don't expect the property to open out at the back the way it does. The extension really does help give a lot of space and a lot of light to the back of the property. I think it works extremely well, and in this area, it's what buyers really want.
The agents like the flat, but what could it achieve on the resale market? Remember, Teresa has so far spent around £165,000 and reckons extending the lease would set her back 10 to 12 grand. That would make a total outlay of up to £177,000. So what sort of returns could Teresa make here?
With an extended lease, we would put this property on market at £280,000.
The resale value of this property, with a long lease extended to approximately 125 years, would probably be in the region of £280,000 to £285,000.
That is superb. I can't believe that. That's excellent. Excellent.
If Teresa sold it for either of those 2 valuations, she could make a possible pre-tax profit of £103,000 to £108,000. No wonder she's pleased. But what sort of rental income could she expect?
A property like this would rent for approximately £1,250 per calendar month.
On the rental market, we would market this property at £1,250 per calendar month.
Gosh, that's amazing. That is amazing. That's a lot more than I would expect.
If Teresa let the flat out based on the £165,000 she has spent so far, she could expect an excellent annual yield of around 9%. Despite those great potential returns, Teresa has no plans to move. And looking at what she's achieved with this place, it's easy to see why.
I feel comfortable here. I love coming home from work, shutting my door. It's great to have friends come around at weekends. I can cook meals for my friends, they can stay over. It's good. It's a nice feeling. I get a nice feeling when I come in.
Situated next to the Manchester Ship Canal and just south of Warrington in Cheshire is the village of Latchford. And it was here we saw a two-bed first-floor flat that was built in 2007 and, quite frankly, was suffering from nothing more than a bit of wear and tear. But it just goes to show, if you do a bit of research, have a look around, you can find those little gems that you can turn around very quickly. This is definitely one of them. And this potential rough diamond certainly had Italian-based fashion importer Bob's eyes sparkling when he saw it.
But it's just what I wanted. I wanted something that basically in and out, really.
Exactly. So he snapped it up for £75,000 at auction as a part of a growing property portfolio.
I've never been in a position where I've had spare cash.
OK.
I've either been getting divorced, paying those off, or I did go bankrupt in the early 90s and had to recover from that. And my business has always needed the money.
OK.
And this is the first time ever I've had some spare cash.
This was to be his 6th rental property, and they don't come any more straightforward than this. With a budget of no more than £2,000, Bob was hoping to give this flat a quick makeover in less than 2 weeks. And now, just 9 days later, we're back to check on Bob's progress.
I've had to do it in sort of record time in a week. I've got carpets in and a lick of paint. Put some fresh blinds up. That's the only thing I need to do, but I'm going abroad tomorrow, so I'll let the agent deal with the last few bits.
Yep, just 1 week. But hey, quite frankly, that's all it needed. With no work required to the kitchen or bathrooms, the flat is now completely ready to rent out.
We've already had a viewing. They're coming back tomorrow, Saturday. A young couple with a mother. We're hopeful that they're going to take it, but I'm pretty confident within a month we'll have it let.
It's been a breeze, hasn't it? Lick of paint, new carpet, tenant, job done. And on to the next one. Is that the plan?
My strategy is very simple. Basically, I want off these properties to get a small income so I don't really have to live out of my main business, so I can keep generating profits with that. And obviously it's a form of pension, I'm not getting any younger, and obviously it's something I can leave behind once I go to the family.
But does this work as an investment? Because along with a £75,000 purchase price, Bob reckons the quick makeover has cost him around that proposed £2,000 budget. So he's got £77,000 tied up in this place. What did 2 local estate agents think about this flat?
We had this on the market previously. The property was in good order, but it has been made better by having it repainted, new carpets, and generally a good clean.
First impressions of the property, it's a great apartment with water views, nice finish, very soon could make the perfect first-time buyer property.
I think this being a top-floor apartment
Having the loft access as well, which is excellent for storage, separates the property from other similar apartments in the area.
This is a new build development, lots of apartment blocks springing up. Certainly very good for rental and would certainly make a very good investment property.
Bob is in the process of building a rental portfolio, so isn't currently planning to sell the flat on. But has he invested his £77,000 wisely?
For resale purposes, in its current condition, the property is worth £95,000.
If we were putting this property onto the market, we'd be looking at a figure around £100,000.
95 to 100,000 actually would almost convince me to change my strategy on this, because it's nearly 20,000 profit for doing nothing in a matter of a month. So if I could do this every month, you'd be laughing, wouldn't you? But it's not going to tempt me away. I'm still going to stand on my original plans of renting. But yeah, delighted with those figures, absolutely delighted.
And so he should be, because as he said, those values could see a potential pre-tax profit between £18,000 to £23,000 for a property he bought only 6 weeks ago and needed minimal work. But what about those all-important rental figures?
For rental purposes, the property will be worth between £500 and £525 per calendar month.
In my opinion, this property will be renting for a figure of £595 per calendar month.
Again, they're higher than expected, because I've put this on at 510 because I want to move it quickly.
Well, if he does get that hoped-for £510 per calendar month, then Bob would see the flat generate a rental yield of just below 8%. And with 6 properties already bought and rented out, his portfolio is coming along nicely. So is his aim to still get a few more?
Well, we're just completing now on a property overlooking the Mersey in Birkenhead, and that's again going to be a rental. And we'll just continue to look round. I rather like this Latchford area. I think it could be quite up and coming. So if there's anything in this area, I think I might continue to look here.
So when Bob isn't in his Italian property in Tuscany, it seems Latchford might be the place for him.
Well, that's it for today's show. We'll have more properties for you next time here on Homes Under the Hammer.
So join us to see what happens when the hammer comes down.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.